This is Coach Lee, and in this video, I'm going to share with you a 3-step guide to getting your ex back. Click the subscribe button below so that you can be notified when I have more videos like this, and that includes information on relationships, breakups, marriage, and mindfulness. So some people want a very simple and clear plan when it comes to trying to get their ex back. So that's what I'm going to give in this video. If this is the first video you've watched of mine, be sure to watch my videos on what your ex is thinking and stages that your ex goes through while you're doing some of these things that I'm going to suggest, because it's very helpful and encouraging to know what's going on or what's potentially going on in the mind of your ex. People in your situation report that it's very encouraging to know. I will link to some of those in the description below. So on the path to getting your ex back, the first step after you have been broken up with, this will probably come as no surprise to many of you who have watched a lot of my videos. It's no contact. It's to use the no contact rule. And so basically what that is where you don't initiate contact with your ex. They've broken up with you. They have said that they don't want you in their life anymore. Now, they may not have used those words, but that's what breaking up with you is. And some people might say, well, that seems harsh, or that's manipulative, or that's immature. Actually, it's just the opposite. It's the mature reaction, because if you share a house with someone, especially when you're growing up or if you're in college, and someone goes and closes a door and they are in a room by themselves, and you knock on the door and they say, I just want to be alone. Is it mature to keep knocking on the door, demand they let you in, go around and try to get in the window? How do you think they're going to respond to that? Usually it's very negatively, that you basically disrespected their wishes. You forced your way in when you were not invited. That's what's immature. That's what's manipulative. Giving this person what they say they want, which is the breakup, is not only the mature response, but it's the only way that you are going to have the best chance and the best opportunity of getting your ex back. Because when you give them the breakup by using the no contact rule, which means that you don't initiate contact with them, it doesn't mean that you ignore them if they reach out, but it does mean you do not initiate contact. You allow them to experience what they think they wanted. And before they get to experience it, it's conceptual. They don't know if they want it or not. They think they do. It's because attraction has fallen for you. Emotional attraction, it's gone down, and that's often because of issues, all kinds of things that could cause this drop in attraction. But it was enough to where they didn't see a future with you anymore. They didn't, quote, feel it anymore. And so as best they can tell, though it didn't happen overnight, as best they can tell, they want a breakup. But since they haven't experienced it yet, it's theory, it's concept, let them experience it, because it's usually quite a bit different than they anticipate. Especially if you two had a good thing. And you may be saying, well, if we had a good thing, why did they break up with me? People sometimes don't know what they have until it's gone. And yes, that's a cliche, and not all cliches are true by any means, but that one is true. A lot of times we take for granted what we have. People have grass is greener syndrome, and people will even do things that would hurt this other person, incredibly so, and cause them to lose another person, and then later they come to their senses, hopefully, because nothing is 100%. But when you allow this person to truly experience being without you, and to see if they like it or not, to see how they respond to those late nights where they're alone and they're wishing you'd text them, and you may think, well, they're kind of dating around, or they could find someone else and that could soothe that loneliness. But again, how much confidence do you have that the two of you had a great thing, that you two had a wonderful connection, that you two had powerful intimacy? You must believe that, or else you wouldn't want this person back. And so if you really believe that, put your money where your mouth is. In this case, shut your mouth. Be silent. Use the no contact rule. Let them see what they're losing. Because if you don't, if you keep reaching out, if you keep communication with them, if you keep yourself in this person's life, you are enabling them to get over you, because they're not having to lose you. You're still there. And because they think they could get you back at any second. They could have you back. All they have to do is say the word. What we have to have happen is we have to have them realize that you're strong enough to stay away, and that you could move on from them, and then there could be a point where they want you back and they could not get you back. And that's when they have to really dissect and consider reality. Do they really want a life without you? Or was it a concept that seemed like a good idea, but then when they had to experience it, they realized it's not what they want, not what they thought it would be. So I have lots of videos where I talk about the no contact rule. In fact, most of my videos do. If you're married, I have a video on no contact in marriage and on strategic or intelligent contact if you have children together or share property or work together or go to school together. So take a look at those videos. I will link to those in the description below. But that's the first step. It stops the bleeding, lets the smoke clear, and allows your ex to experience what they think that they want. I do suggest you watch my video, Stages Your Ex Goes Through During No Contact. The video is called Stages Your Ex Goes Through During No Contact, and I will link to that in the description below here on YouTube. Before we go into the next step, click the subscribe button below so that you can be notified when I have more videos like this on relationships. So the next step in the process, on the path to getting your ex back, is to work on yourself. Now, before you say, oh, well, yes, of course, listen to the real reason why. First of all, yes, it is true that no matter what happens, you want to make yourself a better person, a stronger person. And you want to do that for you. No doubt about it. But also consider this. If you do trust that you two had a great relationship and a great thing, and that it will be realized by your ex because what you shared was unusually good, then when your ex comes to their senses and reaches out to you and you get to interact with them face to face, you want them to be overwhelmed, to even think to themselves, he or she is even more wonderful than I remember. That's what you want. You want it to be sort of a shock and awe approach. And it can be most powerful when you two have been apart for a while and then they come face to face with what they have given up. It can really be what gets them off the fence if they're thinking that they want you back but they're unsure. It can be what makes this a powerful attempt on their part to get you back, to where they lay it all on the table instead of just being casual and kind of testing the waters, to where they actually just feel like they have to tell you how wrong they were, how sorry they are, how much they miss you, and how much they want to be back together with you. So work on yourself in every way, physically. Physical attraction is important, and whoever says otherwise is using pie in the sky thinking. We are made to be attracted to things physically. There's a reason there's so much beauty in nature. Things attract our eyes, and you want to do that for this person if you want to reattract them, just like you want them to be physically attractive to your eyes. So yes, do your best physically. If you need to lose weight, if you need to become more fit, work on your diet, exercise. You can do basic things to improve yourself and at least make progress. It doesn't have to be a total makeover, but moving forward physically in that area is wonderful for you to do for your health and for your own sense of self-confidence, self-esteem, and for whatever you might be doing in the future. And that might be dating someone else. At least keep that possibility open, even though I fully understand that you want this person back, and I'm not going to try to just make you flick a switch and think that there's something wrong with that. I'm here to help you have the best chance to get this person back. Work on yourself emotionally. You likely know the areas where you need to work. There are great books to help you. A lot of my videos are designed to help you. I have a video on anxiety, as a matter of fact. Take a look at that. If you need to see a therapist or counselor, do that. Just make progress in that area. Work on yourself for you, but also because you do want to reattract this person. Plus, there's something that is just difficult for people to explain or study or even be able to define, and that is that when you become more attractive, emotionally, physically, mentally, somehow the earth just begins to move under your feet. It's as though your ex somehow was attracted to you even though they haven't seen you or spoken to you. It's amazing how that works. The universe is funny in that way, and I know that some of you are very much into that, and I'm a big believer in the law of attraction. Now, some people might take it too far. Some people don't take it far enough, because I am convinced of its power. So Just know that just because your ex can't see that you've lost 15 pounds, just because your ex can't see that you are an emotionally stronger and more attractive person now, just because your ex can't see that you're a mentally more attractive person now, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have an effect on them or an impact on them. And I defy you to tell me that you haven't experienced anything like that in your life, because most people, if they think carefully, they have. I certainly have. And many of my clients certainly have. Number 3 is you will come to a point where you need to decide what you're going to do, because for a time it is okay to wait on this person. And I'll just let that sink in for a second, because my guess is a lot of you have heard other coaches say that you should never wait on anyone else, and this is all for you, and you should just move on from day 1 after the breakup. I don't believe that. I think that it's okay to be strategic. If this is what you want, I believe in going after what you want. And that means sometimes that you wait patiently. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to hurt you to just say, I'm not going to pursue other romantic relationships right now because I'm going to see if this works out with this person and if they come to their senses. There's nothing wrong with that. That's your right. That's actually a mature thing to do, rather than just hop out there and try to be in a relationship again when you're emotionally healing. And so I'm not going to apologize for the fact that I tell people it's okay to wait on this person for a time to see what happens. Give yourself that time to heal, that time to just be, to be single even, though you're not pursuing other relationships. That's actually a healthy way to approach this. When the time comes, you can make a decision on whether you want to, quote, move on or move forward, as I like to say. And even at that point, it's not like you are forever closing the door if this person was to come to their senses at a later time. You have options. You are the master of your own sea. And so you can always change your mind if this person was to come back in the future and say, I was wrong, would you consider having me back? If you feel like, after usually I will say 2.5 months, if you feel like you must reach out, that you just want to see, that you just want to contact this person and see what happens, that's fine. It's totally up to you. Ideally, no contact would be permanent. But I have also seen it work when after 2.5 months, there's a casual reach out, a casual conversation, and all of a sudden the idea of getting coffee just to catch up comes up. And a week or 2 later, a couple's back together. Does it happen every time? No. Does it happen every time? No. So I'm not giving you false hope, but I am telling you it's optional, and I have seen it work. And if you want to do that after enough time has passed, you don't really have anything to lose. And it can be helpful because if this person still feels certain, and you can tell that because maybe they don't even respond to you, then that's when, if you start to feel like you could begin dating again, you could pursue slowly, very slowly, other romantic opportunities. That's where you can start doing that with the knowledge that you did give it one last effort and you gave them the opportunity. Another reason to reach out is if enough time has passed, again, about 2.5 months, and your ex is prodding. Now, what I mean by prodding is a lot of you will say, what do I do? They liked my posts on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Does that mean I should reach out to them? Well, no, it doesn't, because you should only respond if there's something to respond to, and that would be a direct message like a text or a call or an email. Just liking your post and then you reach out to them, it's not balanced. It really makes it look like you were just waiting for anything, for a breadcrumb, for some little clue, and you just pounced on it because you're sitting there desperate. We don't want them thinking that. We don't want it to come across that way. So a like on your post is not enough to reach out to them. But if several things like that have happened, maybe they liked the post, maybe they commented on one of your posts and it was just something like referring to what you said, a meme or something like that, and it has happened several times and enough time has passed. Again, that's when it's okay to reach out. Why? Because sometimes people who have dumped someone will think you don't want to hear from them, you're mad at them, why would they face the rejection? And yes, I realize that's ironic because they broke up with you, which is the ultimate rejection. But it happens, and I have spoken to the dumper, the person who did the breaking up. I have spoken to people in that situation who tell me, I can't reach out, I'm afraid. I think they'll reject me, I think they're mad at me, I think they hate me for hurting them. So it does happen. And while that time should pass, you shouldn't say, oh, well, I think my ex is that way and it's been 3 weeks, so I'm going to reach out. No, the time still has to pass by. It's important. They need to experience that time away from you because, like I said in the beginning of this video, your ex needs to experience the breakup. As I've mentioned in other videos, it's like baking a cake. You can't just turn the temperature up really high and the cake bake faster. You will ruin it. Time is part of the equation. Before I mention a third reason why it would make sense for you to reach out, click the subscribe button below if you haven't already. And you can leave me a tip in my tip jar if this video has been helpful to you. I have that link in the description below. If you like this video, you can always click the thumbs up and it'll make me smile. So the third reason it makes sense to reach out after enough time has passed is if your ex did reach out during that 2.5 months of no contact. They initiated the contact, you two talked back and forth a little bit, and then it just faded away and you haven't heard back from them. Sometimes that can show that they don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. And like I mentioned in the previous point, they could even think you don't want to hear from them. That's potentially what's going on. So if they have initiated, it does show they were moving back towards you. The no contact was working in some way, at least in some of those initial stages, like curiosity that your ex will go through. And again, take a look at my video, stages your ex goes through during no contact. I'll link that in the description below. But if that's happened and it's just faded away, it could mean that your ex doesn't know what to say. Because not everyone is good with that kind of thing. I have spoken to people who want their ex back. They broke up with them and they don't know what to do. And for me, it's simple. Hey, you want him back? You say, I want you back. I messed up. I love you. I'll stop whatever I have to stop. I'll do whatever I have to do. Please, let's just get back together. Let's stop the madness. And I can hear the silence on the other end of the phone or see the shock in their eyes. And they say, I can't do that. They can. It's an emotional hurdle. They probably haven't been working on themselves during this time. And yes, they could do it. They should do it. But do you really want to play the you should, I should, he should game? If you want your ex back, you don't. You just want your ex back. And so if they want you back and they don't know what to do, giving them a little help potentially, it's not a bad thing. And again, I get that there are people out there with the philosophy of no way should you do that. And again, it's interesting what 20 years and thousands of cases will do to neat sounding philosophies. I prefer to live in the real world. And the real world says that sometimes this other person wants you back and doesn't know how to go about it. So why not eliminate that from the list so you don't have to wonder one day. You think you do have a great thing? Give it one shot. If they've reached out to you, it faded away, I'm telling you, as a relationship coach, that it makes sense if you want to reach out, see what's going on, and suggest coffee and catching up. No, you're not going to mess up your chances. You don't have much to lose in that situation, and it just could mean that you get your ex back. When you shouldn't reach out at all is when there's someone else. If there was someone else, first of all, have more self-respect than that. Second of all, they're probably focused on this person, and the best thing you could do is stay away, because then this person becomes easily accessible and you are the scarce one. And if things aren't working as well with this person, if the depth is not there, again, do you believe in what you two had? If you do, trust it. I know it's difficult when someone you love is with someone else, and anyway, take it one day at a time. Trust what you two had. If you do trust it, either way, you will get through this. Another reason not to reach out is if they've made no effort to change. Sometimes it's flaws on their part. It's injuries to the relationship on their part. Even if they broke up with you, it's those things still that can keep the two of you from getting back together. And if they haven't made the effort to change, it's really pointless because they have to prioritize the relationship and be in a place where they would never do anything to risk the relationship before you need to reach out anyway, or before you need to consider getting back together with them. A gray area on this is a long distance relationship because they are very difficult and you can't have a casual face-to-face. If you two are broken up, it's very unlikely this person's going to just want to catch up over coffee after an airplane ride. And so it might be best in those situations to just do your best to stick it out and see what the future holds, and maybe at some point you will be comfortable again pursuing other romantic interests. I do have a video on no contact and long distance relationships, and I will add that to the description below, or you can search my channel. Click the subscribe button below so that you can be notified when I have other videos. Click the like button, or you can leave me a tip with the link below if you think this information has been helpful. As always, I wish you the very best. That's why I do these videos. This has been Coach Lee. Thank you for watching.